Our final project for this semester is going to be an unsolicited letter of proposal. So proposals are a very common genre or type of writing in businesses because they allow us, there are avenues through which we can identify a problem, propose a solution or a plan that will address that problem or that need, and do so through writing that in a way that would compel our audience or the people that we are writing to that our ideas and our plans are valid and need to be acted upon. And so there are there's a lot of different types of proposals and different sizes of proposals. Right here, it talks a little bit about these large proposals where we have really big projects like building new buildings or developing an area where a company will send out a call for proposals, and those proposals will be, 10, 20 pages long with studies and a lot of details of implementation. And that is one type of proposal. But what we are going to be doing here is much smaller and much more intimate, if you will. So an internal unsolicited proposal. Unsolicited simply means that it hasn't been asked for, it hasn't been requested, and so the audience isn't expecting it. And as an internal, that means it's within an organization, within a job, where you have a specific stake in the location or the job or the place of employment. And so these types of proposals are a lot more intimate, a lot more like outreach, a method of outreach, and just a sharing of ideas. And so making a personal connection with your audience is key to the success here, okay? So using your own unique voice in reaching out to someone, making a connection with someone or pointing out your connection with them, in identifying a need or a problem that needs to be addressed within the organization, and sharing a specific plan on how to address that is key. And so that personal connection, I keep saying personal connection through this these instructions, because it is just as important as the plan itself. Because the last thing you want to do is to just send someone some form letter like robotic sounding proposal that will not even capture their attention, because it will simply be set aside. It will not be read or followed up on, and it will be quickly forgotten. And so this assignment is all about proposing an idea, but also doing so in your own unique human voice and personable connections. And so for this, you will write and submit an informal, unsolicited proposal addressing a need that you see either in a place that you are employed, so not just any business, but somewhere where you are employed or have been employed, or for an issue at Paradise Valley Community College that you see on campus. Okay, and the proposal will include your firsthand witness of what you see, that need that you see that needs to be addressed, and you will propose a solution or an event or an action to address that need. Now, as an internal unsolicited proposal, this is going to be very small scale. Okay, this isn't something that you're going to propose this big, huge change, sweeping change. This is going to be something small. In fact, the final cost to implement this plan that you're going to propose will need to be under $1,000. And so it's going to be something small, and it's going to be only about 500 to 700 words long, but it will need to include one outside source to help provide some evidence that there is a need or that your proposed plan will benefit the place of employment or Paradise Valley campus in some way. And so I have an example here. Let's say you noticed as an online student that students need more networking opportunities. So you could write a letter of proposal to the director of Paradise Valley's Career Services and propose that. And this proposal would need to include several steps. You would need to establish that connection with that director, okay? Introduce yourself as a student and create some commonality, common interest with that director. You would need to convince the director that there is a need for this, there's a need for this kind of networking opportunity, and you would support that claim with some reasons and with some evidence. So it just can't be, hey, I noticed this or I want this. You need to back that up with some evidence. And then convince them that your plan will benefit students. And you will also, this is the difference right here. This number 5 is the difference between a letter of suggestion and a letter of proposal. You are not just suggesting something, you are presenting a plan. So you're going to provide the details of how and when to put your plan into place, everything that it will incorporate, a timeline, a place, a list of the people involved, and a budget if it requires a budget. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need to do is figure out who your intended audience is going to be. So you need to figure out who has the power, the position, the authority to accept and enact your plan. So this should be a proposed plan that one person can enact. It doesn't need a committee. It doesn't need voting. It doesn't need legislation changes. It can be something small enough so the recipient of your letter can put this into action, can accept it and put it into action. And so you're going to think, who has the authority to do that? If it's a place of business, it might not be the CEO of the company. It's going to be someone, more closely related to the space that you're talking about. If you're going to propose something, a change on Paradise Valley campus, it probably is not going to be President Schwartz, okay? Because she delegates a lot of the responsibility to different deans, committees, department chairs. And so you're going to look up the directory and see who is the person that has the authority to enact my proposed change or event. And you will address the letter to them. You're also going to be bringing in that evidence, okay, that outside source. It can also be evidence in the form of talking to other students, okay, something beyond just your opinion alone. So here's the process to the proposal. You're going to find that need, determine that need that you want to propose a solution or a program, or, keep it simple. See, I have had fantastic proposals requesting benches in certain areas, requesting certain different kind of lighting in certain areas. And so it doesn't have to be major to be effective. In fact, the simpler it is, the more logical it is that one person can enact it, the better it's going to be. So you're going to find that need. Then you're going to identify the audience that you're going to write. Who are you writing to? Then you're going to come up with your plan, okay? As part of your plan, and to fulfill the requirements for this course, you're going to incorporate a simple graph, table, or timeline to support your plan, okay? And remember, this isn't a sales pitch. You're not going to really schmooze or lay it on thick. You're connecting with your audience. You're connecting with it, finding commonalities, showing your personality, developing your professional writer's voice, or even your writing or your professional brand. Who are you? How can you express your personality through your writing while still retaining that professional tone? So here are the details of everything that you need and the length, and just check the and it will include a reference page. It will be written as a business letter, but it will include that reference page that includes a citation for that source. So read this over, reach out if you have any questions or if you'd like me to explain anything further.